Emily Nose, 16, Homeword. When I babysit kids, I always find something so innocent in misunderstandings. We all laugh when a child mistakes two words or has an idea that isn't quite developed. So when a child says they want to be an explorer, we encourage it. We give them toy ships and shrunken telescopes, tell them the seas are full of possibilities, tell them to write their adventures, that this is the beginning of a tale yet to be told. And when children say they'll discover new worlds, we inspire them, put a marker in their hand and have them draw their reality. The creatures they see, the lands they create in their minds, tell them with every turn of the page there is something to be found. So when the little boy I watch, with stars as bright as the one sailors follow in his eyes, says, I want to be like Christopher Columbus, I smile. They don't know any better. To them, Columbus and navigation are synonymous. The words to describe what happened are not in their vocabulary because teachers can't have them thinking the truth at such a young age. Can't let them know their country isn't one of sole greatness. Can't let them discover their inheritance is founded on denial, a foundation funded by the lives of millions crumbling from the moment it was laid in rocky shores and open plains. But what's the harm in keeping the past hidden for just a few more centuries? These are innocent youth, kids that still believe in Santa Claus. It's just a matter of time. But if I recall, Santa gave presents, real ones, never showing up the next morning to claim the Christmas tree to build a new sleigh, never delivering presents of pox or ribbons on rape or stockings stuffed with STDs. This is far more than 12 days in our history, and lies spawn comfort in things that should never be concluded. I still say I'm like Columbus when I find my way. One day those kids will sit staring at death, and all they'll wish is to return to their storybooks where the pilgrims had funny hats and too much corn, but children are the ones who'll write our history. And schoolyard drawings will not do us justice. Maybe the plan is pumping them full of misinformation to make us look better after publication. But what's the harm in false heroes if one day they'll learn? But that's the same thing I say every October 8th, every date I found irrelevant while I questioned what no DAPL stood for, not realizing that as I sat too lazy, too busy to search it, I was living a legacy left behind by those I called blind. Everyone seems content to be side characters in this tale, don't seem to care that our history sounds more like a horror novel, but I'm sick of learning of continuous cycles of apologies and treaties that are broken, deemed never to be spoken of because it's the past. Despite whether I learned about something in the newspaper or history is a mystery to me, headlines should not be the same as my test questions. That, more than anything, deserves a failing grade. Because these Americans begging to keep their land sounds a little too familiar. Whether it's a pipeline proposed to be planted on plains or mining towns in mine mindset, stripping the land for Illinois oil or stripping the person from native school children for their own good. Must have been difficult resisting and cutting only their hair. Must have been hard forcing English words down native throats when the only words they knew to teach were guns, germs, steel, and steel. And for a moment, construction ceased. There was peace. But it was hard to imagine that lasting with our very own Jackson taking office, more concerned about the number of people in a crowd than the number of people he stepped on to get there, scattering legislation like Legos that'll never build anything, only hurt when you try and pick yourself up. Other children grow out of wanting to take the world, and my cousins stop riding around on broomsticks with BB guns aimed at the ones they mistake for Indians. No mess up here. That's what we teach them. But it seems like no one bothered to break the news to industry, to politicians, to societal views, that it's just your parents leaving presents under that pine, that life isn't a game of cowboy versus Indians, a checkers board, black versus white, a game of Monopoly where everyone gets to start on go and travel on the same lifeboard. Life is tic-tac-toe. The only way to win is for X's to trick O's, and X would rather leave their past unpublished. But we cannot let these chapters go, so highlight them, bookmark them, dog-ear them. I don't care if it makes the book look ugly. It's better than ripping them out. All that does is create rifts between pages, ruins the glue that holds in the spine. There is no end without this middle. But those empty pages at the backs of books are there for a reason. They tell us this is not over, not ready to be shelved, that we have the power to decide the ending, the genre, the hero. We are living writing that's yet to be written. We all have the pen. Happy endings should not be just another lie we teach our children.